Yeah, no. Oh, I don't know. Just throw some up on the screen. We gotta come up with some new Gen 1 megas, right? Maybe some of the more overlooked Pokemon that are underpowered, Pokemon that need a boost. Yeah? Okay, give us some options. That sounds good. No. He's not popular enough. Nobody likes this bird. Yeah, he's overlooked, but yeah, not him. Oh God. No. Why would we ever buff this thing? No, I don't think so. Cool Pokemon by my standards, but definitely not for the whole world to see. I'm not going to unleash that this time. Is that even a Pokemon? That looks like it could be something from a different game. I think that's probably what the fans feel. Obviously, I know it's a Pokemon. Okay, jeez. Oh God, no. We can't do that. We would lose the parents forever if we gave a Mega Evolution to Jinx. Come on, let's give a real option here. Okay, all right. I mean, yeah, he's basically already overpowered, and he's one of the most, known, maybe most used Pokemon from Gen 1. He's got a great set of stats already. He's been top of the ladder on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet for a long time. He's an incredible Pokemon in his own right. He's perfect. Thanks for joining us today on Zeke1 Plays. I'm so glad that you're here. We're going to be talking about Mega Dragonite and why, indeed, did Game Freak decide to give him a Mega Evolution over some of the other ones. But hey, I'm not complaining. I'm here for it. He looks amazing, right? Before we get into it, I want to ask you to please like and subscribe. It goes a long way to help out this small channel, trying to push toward 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you could help me reach that goal, that would be truly incredible. Now, without further ado, let's get right into it with Mega Dragonite. What we're going to start with today is his stat distribution, okay? So, popping on the screen are the stats for Dragonite, the base form. And you can see already he's pretty well endowed. He's already got the 134 base attack stat. That is just incredible. And he already hits like a freaking truck, right? His base health of 91, not the best, but it's definitely workable, especially when you look at the defenses, which are pretty high as well. This Pokemon doesn't usually go down in one hit, and he's usually able to hit very hard in return, even if he's using neutral damage with the likes of like Dragon-type Scale Shot, or even a Extreme Speed with a Choice Band. This Pokemon is already very good in this base form, and so that's why it's so interesting to me that we give him a Mega Form. But, let's get right into it. Here's what I would predict, what I would maybe choose to do with a Mega Dragonite, especially given his design. There you go. So you can see I immediately, boosted his attack. I think that makes sense. There's got to be a reason why you run Mega Dragonite over regular Dragonite, and I think the stats being boosted is a big part of that, right? And then the next thing that I made sure to take care of was the speed stat as well. With the wings and the way that it looks, I'm for sure thinking that his speed has got to be increased a little bit. And if you think about it, like through the years, that really has been the thing that has hindered Dragonite along the way. Just his middling speed stat. If you push that up to 110, this guy is going to be one of the top threats in the game. And so I could see Game Freak just going up to 90 or to base 100. But, if it were me, I would definitely boost him all the way to 110. I think that looks really, really great. And you can see the stats with a tiny, meager increase. And I think it's important to keep that special attack pretty high as well, because Dragonite has always been known as being one of the dragon types that's able to be a mixed attacker, and definitely don't want to take that away from him. Base 120 would allow him to be able to run, solely special attacks if he wanted to. It may seem like that's way lower than 164, and it is, but you have to remember that special attack doesn't suffer from Intimidate or other abilities to decrease its total damage output, and so he would have a pretty easy time hitting very hard on that side as well. Now, with a stat spread like this, what possible ability could we give him? His base form has multi-scale and inner focus, both incredible abilities. I will say, if he ends up being a mega that a lot of people want to run, a lot of people will probably end up running the inner focus ability on Mega Dragonite, because it would prevent Intimidate. It would also prevent him from flinching from Fake Out and the like. But then what would his ability actually be whenever he Mega evolves into this form? Well, with a high base attack and high special attack, I figure it will be something to do with his damage, boosting it, giving it priority, giving something to it. Now, some things that might come to mind right away would be, Aerolate, which is the ability that obviously made Mega Salamence super famous. And I'm going to tell you right away, I don't think this one's going to happen. The reason is Aerolate E-Speed, Extreme Speed. It's a priority-based attack that's already like 60 or 80 base power, and then making it flying type with the Aerolate ability, it would just be too strong on Dragonite. One of the things that Dragonite has held him back has definitely been the fact that he does not get a strong flying type move, in his base form. So he usually has to run something like Hurricane on the special side or Acrobatics and run like a way to lose his item, something like that. So I don't think they would give him Aerolate Extreme Speed. That would just be way too strong. And so what else could we possibly be looking at? One idea that I had was the signature ability of Talonflame, Gale Wings. Now, I know this may seem right off the bat like, oh my gosh, that's way too broken. Well, it is from a certain standpoint, but remember that Gale Wings only activates when he's at full health. And so having the ability to Mega Evolve and have a priority speed Tailwind or a priority speed Hurricane or something of that nature, you're only going to get pretty much one attempt at it. I think that could be a really good ability for Mega Dragonite. It wouldn't necessarily increase his damage, but it would increase his priority for that 1 or 2 shots. Now, he would not have access to what Talonflame does, Gale Wings, Brave Bird, for instance, but he would have access to a few flying moves like Acrobatics and the like, where he could use a Gale Wings attack if he wanted to, but I figure mostly it would be used for the priority Tailwind, which, man, Mega Dragonite with priority Tailwind would be ridiculous. Another couple of thoughts that I've had about Mega Dragonite that could possibly make it, give it an extra little leg up on the competition in terms of ability. One that came to mind was the ability Sheer Force, which Dragonite just gets access to a lot of moves that would utilize that ability really well. Also, giving Sheer Force to a Mega Pokemon allows it to not be able to use the Life Orb, which would limit its effectivity, but at the same time still give it that damage boost, which would be really, really cool. And then a final one that I thought of course, would be keeping the multi-scale ability, which I don't think anyone would complain about. Dragonite with a stat boost and then still getting to keep the multi-scale, which makes it where he takes decreased damage when he's at full health. That would be amazing as well. All right, now let's get into the part that maybe some of you clicked on the video for, and that is Dragonite's shiny forms prediction. Now, I will mention here that there are some other artists on Reddit and other places that have already done some of this work for me in presenting some various forms for shiny Dragonite. So I'm throwing some of those on screen now, and I want to say these are all so pretty, right? I mean, I think that any of us would be excited for a Mega Dragonite with a shiny form. And so just going through them, from the top left, obviously that's the base form. I kind of think, personally, the top center is the most likely. I'm not sure about the little purple wings, but that color most closely matches Mega Dragonite's base form, Dragonite, when he is shiny. Now, looking around to the top right, that color most resembles Dratini, the shiny Dratini, which of course you could always reprise by having its shiny Mega form go back to that pink color that shiny Dratini has. The bottom left, I think, gives it a little bit more of like a playful look, which we know that Dragonite is known for being super kind-hearted and for always rushing around to help people. And so if it ended up with that seafoam green color, that could be cool, I will admit, although it would be a little bit of a difference going from the dark green that it's known for its shiny having. And then finally we have the blue. The reason I like the blue so much is because it kind of reverts to the color of the base form, Dratini and Dragonair. So having a shiny Mega Dragonite turn back to the blue color palette that the base forms, like the unevolved Pokemon, are known for, would be really, really neat. And I definitely would get a shiny for that reason specifically. But most likely, we're probably going to get this top center one, the dark green, I would imagine, keeping the shiny color of its base Dragonite form. All right, and that's all I have to say about Mega Dragonite. He is going to be a really strong powerhouse Pokemon. He already is. And so getting a Mega Evolution, these are the kind of Pokemon that made huge splashes in the earlier times that Mega Evolution was possible. I mean, think about Mega Salamence and also think about Mega Metagross. Both of those Pokemon already had very high base stat totals, and then they gave them a Mega Evolution and they just punched even harder. I think that's what we're going to be looking at with Mega Dragonite. I'm really excited about it. But without further ado, that's it. Thanks for joining me, and I hope that you will come back in the next video, subscribe so you can see more Pokemon content, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.